everyone. Presenting the first piece for this evening, A Matter of Husbands. You wish to see me? What can I do for you?
Yes, give me back my husband.
Give you back your husband?
Yes, you are wondering which one he is? He's the tall, handsome man. Wears spectacles. He's a lawyer. Your manager's lawyer. Alfred is his name.
Yes, I do know who you mean. I have met him, yes.
I know you have. I implore you, give him back to me.
You mustn't mistake my silence for embarrassment. Please sit down. I'm at a loss because I don't quite see how I can give you back your husband when I haven't got him to give.
You just admitted you knew him.
Oh, that scarcely implies that I have taken him from you. Of course I know him. He drew up my last contract. And it seems to me I have seen him once or twice since then, backstage. A rather nice-spoken, fair-haired man. Did you say he wore spectacles?
Yes.
I don't remember him with spectacles.
He probably took them off. He wanted to look his best to you. He's in love with you. He never takes them off when I'm around. He doesn't care how he looks when I'm around. He doesn't love me anymore. I implore you, give him back to me.
If you weren't such a very foolish young woman, I should be very angry with you. Wherever did you get the idea that I have taken your husband from you?
He sends you flowers all the time.
Oh, that's not true. He's never sent me a flower in all his life. Did he tell you he did?
No, I found it at the florist. The flowers are sent to your dressing room twice a week and charged to him.
That's a lie.
And what about this? What about this letter? He wrote it to you. And he said...
He wrote it to me? Let me see, please.
No, I'll read it to you. My darling, shan't be able to call you at the theater tonight. Urgent business. 1,000 apologies. 10,000 kisses, Alfred.
Oh.
I found it on his desk this morning. He probably intended to send it to the theater by messenger, but he forgot it and I opened it.
Oh, please, you mustn't cry.
Why mustn't I? You steal my husband and I mustn't cry? Oh, I know how little this means to you and how easy it is for you. One night you dress like a royal princess and the next night you undress like a Greek goddess. You blacken your eyebrows and redden your lips and wax your lashes and paint your face. You have cosmetics and bright lights to make you seem beautiful and author's lines to make you seem witty and wise. No wonder a poor simple-minded lawyer falls in love with you. What chance have I against you in my cheap little frock, my own lips, my eyebrows, my own unstudied ways? I don't know how to lure a man and strut and pose. I haven't got Mr. Shakespeare to write beautiful speeches for me. In reality, you may be more stupid than I am, but I admit when it comes to luring men, I'm no match for you.
This is a very interesting case. I mean that I've never received a flower or a letter or anything else from your husband. Tell me, haven't you and your husband been getting on rather badly of late?
Yes, that is true.
You used to be very affectionate to each other, and of late you've been quite cold.
Yes.
Of course, it's a typical case. My dear, if you knew how often we actresses meet this sort of thing, it's perfectly clear that your husband has been playing a comedy to make you jealous, to revive your interest in him.
Do you really think that? Do you mean to say such a thing has happened to you before?
Oh, endless times. It happens to every actress who is moderately pretty and successful. It's one of the oldest expedients in the world, and we actresses are such conspicuous targets for it. There's scarcely a man connected with the theater who doesn't make use of us in that way sometime or another. Authors, composers, scene designers, lawyers, orchestra leaders, even the managers themselves. To regain a wife or a sweetheart's affections, all they need to do is invent a little love affair with one of us. The wife is always so ready to believe it. Usually, we don't know a thing about it. But even when it is brought to our notice, we don't mind so much. At least we have the consolation of knowing that we are the means of making many a marriage happy, which might have otherwise ended in the divorce court.
But how could I know?
Oh, there, my dear. You couldn't possibly know. Of course, it seems so plausible. You fancy your husband in an atmosphere of perpetual temptation, in a backstage world full of beautiful sirens, without scruples or morals. One actress, you suppose, is more dangerous than 100 ordinary women. You hate us and you fear us. None understands that better than your husband, who is evidently a very cunning lawyer. And so he plays on your fear and jealousy to regain the love that you deny him. He writes a letter and leaves it behind him on the desk. Ha! Trust a lawyer never to do that unintentionally. He orders flowers for me by telephone in the morning and probably cancels the order the moment he reaches his office. By the way, has he a lock of my hair?
Yes, in his desk drawer. I brought it with me.
Yes, I know. They bribed my hairdresser to steal from me. It's a wonder I have any hair left at all.
Is that how he got it?
Oh, I can't imagine how else. Tell me, hasn't he left any of my love letters lying around?
No?
Don't be alarmed. I haven't written him any.
Then what made
Oh,
you?
I might have if he had come to me frankly and said, I say, Sarah, will you do something for me? My wife and I aren't getting on so well. Would you write me a passionate love letter that I can leave lying around at home where she may find it? I should certainly have done it for him. I'd have written a letter that would have made you weep into your pillow for a fortnight. Oh, I wrote 10 like that for a very eminent playwright once, but he had no luck with them. His wife was such a proper person, she returned them all to him unread.
How clever you are. How
Oh.
good. I have been a perfect fool.
Well, you do look a bit silly, standing there with tears in your eyes and your face flushed with happiness. Oh, but I must give you a parting bit of advice. Don't let him fool you like this again.
Thank you. He won't. Never fear.
No matter what you may find in his pockets, letters, handkerchiefs, my photograph, no matter what flowers he sends or letters he writes or appointments he makes, don't be taken in a second time.
You may be sure of that. And you won't say anything about my coming here, will you?
Oh, not a word. My lips are sealed. I'm angry with him for not coming to me, frankly, to ask for permission to use my name the way he did.
You are a dear. I don't know how to thank you.
Oh, no, please, don't start crying all over again.
You have made me so happy.
All right, Alfred, you can come out now. She's gone. Thank you.
Twilight. The quiet corner of a city park. A young woman in blue sits alone on a bench reading her book. A large hat over her face, a calm and unconscious beauty. When she turns a page, the book slips from her hand, and a young man who has been hovering nearby pounces upon it. He returns it to her with a gallant and hopeful air.
Nice weather we're having.
Yes. You may sit down if you like.
Are you sure? I wouldn't want to interrupt your reading.
Really sit. The light is too bad for reading. I would prefer to talk.
Well, if you insist. You know, you're a stunning young woman. I've actually had my eye on you since yesterday.
Yesterday, whoever you are, you must remember that I'm a lady.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to offend you.
Now, tell me about all these people passing and crowding each way along these paths. Where are they going? Why do they hurry so? Are they happy?
It is interesting to watch them, isn't it? The wonderful drama of life. Some are going to dinner and some to other places. One can't help but wonder what their stories are.
Yes. How fascinating they seem to me, rushing about with their petty little dreams and their common worries. I come here to sit because here only can I be near the great common throbbing heart of humanity. My part in life is cast where its beating is never felt. Your name?
Parkenstacker. And your name?
No, you will recognize it immediately. It is simply impossible to keep one's name out of the papers. My hat is my only protection, Mr. Parkenstacker. I'm talking to you because I wanted to talk for once with a natural man, a real man, one unspoiled by the despicable gloss of wealth and supposed social superiority. Oh, you have no idea how weary I am of it. Money, money, money. And of the men who surround me dancing like little marionettes, all cut from the same pattern. I am sick of pleasure, of jewels, of travel, of society, of luxuries of all kinds.
I always had the idea that money must be a good thing.
A competence is to be desired, certainly. But when you have so many millions, that it is the monotony of it that palls. Drives, dinners, theaters, balls, suppers, dinners, more balls, followed of course by dinners and suppers with the gilding of superfluous wealth over it all. Sometimes the very tinkle of the eyes in my champagne glass nearly drives me mad.
You know, I've always liked to read up on the habits and customs of the wealthier class. I consider myself a bit of a connoisseur on the subject. But I like to have my information accurate. Now, I had formed the opinion that champagne was cooled in the bottle and not by placing ice in the glass. It's all quite fascinating, really. I've always wanted to participate in, or at least witnessed firsthand, the rituals of the elite.
We're drawn to that which we do not understand. For my part, I have always thought that if I should ever love a man, it would be one of lowly station, one who is a worker and not a drone. But doubtless the claims of caste and wealth will prove stronger than my inclination. Just now, I'm besieged by two wealthier suitors.
I don't know why you should bare your soul to a common man like me, but I can't tell you how much I appreciate you confiding in me.
What is your line of business, if you don't mind my asking?
A very humble one, but I hope to rise in the world someday.
You have aspirations?
Of course, there's so much I want to do. I work in a restaurant.
Not as a waiter. Labor is noble, but personal attendance, valet and...
No, not a waiter. I'm a cashier in that restaurant over there.
That one there? That one?
Yes.
Are you sure?
Quite sure.
Oh. I'm late for an engagement.
An engagement?
Yes.
Some sort of ball or...
Yes.
Will I see you again?
I do not know, perhaps, but the whim may not seize me again. I must go quickly now. There is a dinner and a box at the play. And the same old round. Perhaps you noticed an automobile at the upper corner of the park as you came, one with the white body?
And Red running here?
Yes, I always come in that. Pierre waits for me there. He thinks I'm shopping at the department store across the square. What a life of bondage wherein we must deceive even our own chauffeurs. Good night.
Oh, wait. It's getting late. And the park is full of questionable characters. Can't I at least walk you to your...
No. I mean, no. If you have the slightest regard for my wishes, you will remain on this bench for 10 minutes after I have left. Again, good night.
Mary Jane Parker, what on earth are you doing here? Don't you know what time it is?
To whom are you speaking, madame?
To whom am I? To you. Who do you think, you ninny?
Then I'm sure I don't know what you're talking about.
Your shift started 15 minutes ago. Mr. Witherspoon is in a rage. This is the third time this month you've been late. You'd better get yourself over there and into uniform before he cuts you loose for good. Go on now. I know you can't afford to miss a paycheck.
You must have me confused with someone else.
Confused with? Why, Mary Jane Parker? We've known each other for 3 years. We swap shifts. Have you been drinking? Why are you wearing that ridiculous hat?
I'm sorry, Mr. Parkenstacker.
Parkenstacker?
Yes, Parkenstacker.
As in the Parkenstackers from the society pages.
The society pages.
If only I was so fortunate.
You must excuse me. My chauffeur is waiting.
Chauffeur? What kind of crazy airs are you putting on? You've never had a chauffeur in your life. You don't even own an automobile. You have been drinking. I'm going to tell your mother.
Wait. You forgot.
Begging your pardon, sir.
Yes, Henry?
I don't mean to interrupt. Your dinner reservation, shall I cancel it?
No, I'm
Very
fine.
well, sir. The auto is waiting.
Our third offering for this evening, The Proposal by Anton Chekhov. My dear fellow, this is indeed a surprise. How are you?
Privet, I'm doing well. How are you?
Oh, we get along somehow. Please sit down.
Thank you.
Now you know, you shouldn't forget all about your neighbors. And why are you dressed so formally? Are you going out somewhere?
No, I've come only to see you, Honor Stefan. You see, I want to ask you to trouble you with a request. Not once or twice have I already had the privilege of applying to you for help. And you have always, I must ask your pardon. I'm getting excited. I should drink some water, huh? Yeah?
He's come to ask for money and I shan't give him any. What is it, my dear Lemov?
You see, Honor Stefanovich, I beg your pardon, Stefan Honorich. I mean, I'm awfully excited. The fact is, I've come to ask for the hand of your daughter, Natalia Stefanovna, in marriage.
My dear fellow, I am so glad. I have always loved you. If you weren't so tall, I could have kissed you right now. I am beside myself. I'm beside myself with joy. Absolutely beside myself. I've been hoping for this for such a long time. I will go and fetch Natalia. Just wait. Natalia?
It's cool. I'm trembling all over. See, Natalia Stefanovna is excellent housekeeper. Good looking, well educated. What more do I want, I'm very excited. It's true. It's true. Yeah. Where is Miss Natalia? I'm very excited to see her.
Well there, it is you. You must excuse my attire. We're shelling paste for drying. Why haven't you visited us such a long time? Sit down. I want to have some lunch.
No, thank you. I've already had some. You see, honored Natalia Stefanovna, the fact is, I've made up my mind to ask you to hear me out. Of course, you'll be surprised, perhaps, but you know.
What is the matter?
Well, I shall try to be brief. You must know, honest Natalia Stefanovna, that I have long, since childhood, in fact, had the privilege of knowing your family, my late aunt and her husband, from whom I inherited this property and the land, you know, always had the greatest respect for your father and your late mother. The Lomos and the Chupkovs have always had the most friendly and the most affectionate regard for each other. And as you know, my land is near neighbors of yours. You will remember that the oxen meadows touch your birchwood.
Excuse my interrupting you. You say my oxen meadows, but are they yours?
Yes, oxen meadows mine.
What are you talking about? Oxen meadows are ours, not yours.
No, you're mistaken, Honor Natalia Stefanovna. They're mine. Mine.
Really? You won't get me to believe that.
You see, it's true. It's true. Oxen meadows were once the matter of a dispute. But now everybody knows. Everybody. They're mine. There's nothing to argue about.
No, it is not at all like that. Both my grandfather and my great-grandfather reckoned that their land extended to burnt marsh, which meant oxen meadows are ours. I don't see what there is to argue about.
I show you the documents, Natalia Stefanovna. Yeah?
No, you are simply joking or making fun of me. We've had the land for nearly 300 years, and then we're suddenly told it isn't ours. The meadows are ours, and that is all.
Natalia, no, madame, I don't want the meadows, okay? But I'm acting on principle. If you like, I make present of them for you, okay?
I can make you a present of them myself because they are mine, giving me my own land indeed.
Then you make out that I'm a land grabber, madame. Never in my life have I ever grabbed anybody else's land. And I shan't allow anybody to accuse me of having done so. Oxen meadows are mine.
It's not true, they're ours.
Oxen meadows are mine. You understand?
Please don't shout. You can shout yourself once in your own house, but here I must ask you to restrain yourself.
If it wasn't, madame, for this awful, excruciating palpitation, I talk to you in different way. Oxen meadows are mine.
Ours.
No, mine.
What is the matter? What are you shouting at?
Papa, please tell this gentleman who owns oxen meadows, we or he?
The meadows are ours.
But please, sir, please, listen to me. How can the meadows be yours? My aunt's grandmother gave the meadows for the temporary free use of your grandfather's presence.
My dear Lomov, you forget just this. The peasants didn't pay your grandmother because the meadows were in dispute. And now everybody knows that the meadows are ours.
No, you just think I'm a fool. You call my land yours And then you want me to talk calmly, politely. Good neighbors don't behave like that, huh? I have the matter taken to court. And then I show you.
To court? You want to take the matter to court? Yeah, I know you can. You're just on the lookout for a chance to go to court. All your people were like that.
The Lomos have always been the honorable, most honorable people. And not one has ever been tried for embezzlement. Like your grandfather.
You Lumos have had lunacy in your family, all of you. Your grandfather was a drunkard and your young aunt Anastasia ran away with the architect. No, it was the cook.
Hey, your mother was humpbacked, huh? Oh, something is pulling in my side, my head. The water. Oh.
Father was a guzzling gambler. There haven't been many backbiters to equal your aunt.
My left foot has gone to sleep. Where's my hat? Oh, where is the door? Oh, I think I'm dying. My foot is quite numb. Oh.
And don't you dare ever set foot in my house again.
Take it to court. We'll see.
The devil take him.
What a rascal. What trust can one have in one's neighbors after that? The monster. First he takes our land and then he has the impudence to abuse us.
And the turnip ghost has the audacity to come here and make a proposal.
A proposal? What proposal?
He came to propose to you.
Propose to me? Why didn't you tell me? Oh, fetch him, bring him back. Quick.
He's coming. He's coming. I tell you, he's coming. Oh, Lord, to be the father of a grown-up daughter. There he is. Now you talk to him.
Oh, my heart's palpitating awfully. My foot is going to sleep. There's something pulling in my side there.
Sit down. Forgive us. Ivan Lomo, we were all a little heated. I remember now. Oxen meadows really are yours.
My heart's beating awfully. My meadows, my eyebrows.
Yes, the meadows are yours. Yes, yours. Sit down.
Oh.
We were wrong.
Oh, Madame, I did it on principle.
Yes, the principle, just so. Now let us talk of something else.
I see, Natalia Stefnovna, that you consider me blind, like your hunting dog. Squeezer.
That is not true. Why talk rot? It's awful.
Excuse me, I cannot continue this discussion. My heart is palpitating. I can see stars. The mist. Oh, where am I?
Hurry up and get married. She is willing. I bless both of you. But both of you now leave me in peace.
Yes, I'm willing.
Kiss her.
Oh, very nice. Oh, my heart, my stars. I'm happy, so very happy.
I'm happy too.
And I'm happy too. For both of you.
But you will now admit that your dog guess is worse than Squeezer.
Better.
Worse.
Well, that is a way to start the family, please. Have some champagne.
It's better.
Worse.
Champagne. Thank you.
Thank you.
And hello there. Up next, we have for you a play, Outsourced, by Alex Braun. Be prepared for a whole new angle to outsourcing.
Paula, be a dear, would you, and find someone to represent me at dinner tonight?
Represent you at dinner tonight. Did I hear that correctly?
Yes, please. And have something delivered here to the office, please. Pad Thai would be nice. The special combination with extra chili.
I thought you were going out for dinner with your husband.
That was the plan, yes, but I'm far too busy. Find someone else to do it.
Someone else. You can't be serious about that.
Absolutely. If I can pay someone to walk my dog, then I can pay someone to eat with my husband.
Very well. Do you have any preferences?
I'm fairly certain Jeffrey would prefer a woman.
So where do you suggest I find such a person?
Come on, Paula, work it out. Try the internet, try the yellow pages. There's a whole escort industry out there. Just find someone who can look classy and be there by 7:30. Don't settle for anything trashy. I won't have Jeffrey disappointed.
Show afterwards. Is the escort required for that?
Well, obviously, I can't just dump Jeffrey in some restaurant and leave him to go on alone. I would never do that.
Are you sure you wouldn't like to go yourself?
Well, of course, I'd love to go, but there's just too much to get through. Something has to be outsourced.
Outsourced. It's your wedding anniversary.
I hadn't forgotten. I would never forget something so important. Anniversaries are significant.
Yes, correct. Can I assume you found a significant gift?
Gift. Yes. Yes. It's in the calendar, but there's been a tension of priorities.
Tension of priorities.
Could you organize something, please, Paula? Would you mind? A nice tie, maybe? What anniversary is it? How many years?
10.
There's a thing about gifts, isn't there? 1 year is paper, 2 years is something, yada, yada. What's 10?
10 years is tin.
Tin. Tin cufflinks.
Jeffrey's shirts have button cuffs. If you want to give cufflinks, then you'll have to have a shirt tailored for him.
Very good. Let's do that then. A tailored shirt with tin cufflinks in a tin presentation box. So easy and so thoughtful.
There won't be time between now and dinner.
Okay, get a voucher for it then. And find an escort who can post me an executive summary, a good snappy report, bullet points only. I'd like general impressions of the restaurant, highlights of the meal, especially the range of desserts, key topics of dinner conversation, a single paragraph review of the show, notes on any ongoing relationship issues that may need further discussion. Oh, and could you have Jeffrey's gift to me forwarded here to the office, please? Be very specific about that. The gift is not to be retained by the escort.
Yes, very good. But do you want the client to have the complete anniversary experience? As in after the dinner and show, you know, in the bedroom?
Well, I should, don't you think? I mean, if I didn't, he might, you know.
Go looking for someone else?
Exactly. Or think I don't love him. I mean, he may come to a point where he senses that key indicators in the relationship have not been actualized within the critical time frame.
And we can't have that, can we?
Absolutely not.
Will you be wanting an executive summary of the sex?
Oh, yes, please. That would be nice. Please specify a concentration on the subtleties of his foreplay, but no more than 1 minute.
1 minute of foreplay or 1 minute of report time?
A minute of report time, obviously. It's my wedding anniversary, after all.
I see. Should I get a satisfaction rating?
Absolutely.
Are you sure about this? about this complete scenario with all its current impacts and downstream implications for the general operational framework of the marriage. Going forward.
Yes. Oh no, you're not comfortable with this, are you? Would you be happier if, you became more involved?
No.
Well, you're the one balking at the idea of outsourcing. I just thought, since you're a bit uneasy, that you might like to keep it in-house.
Definitely no. So I'm to go ahead?
Yes. No. Wait.
There's a doubt?
Just a bit.
Yes.
Well, make sure that there's a card with the gift from me.
Ah, of course.
No, I mean signed by me personally. If you bring the card in here, I'll personally sign it.
Will you be wanting to handwrite the message of endearment yourself?
Oh yes, there should be time. And I wouldn't want Jeffrey to, feel.
Thoughtful. I'll schedule it. Catherine Landry's office. This is Paula. Very well. I'll see that she gets the message. That was Jeffrey's office. He's held up but says not to worry. Apparently, he's going to make sure there's someone there for you at dinner.
I'm sorry. What was that?
Thank you.
Our next reading is A Horse and Two Goats, adapted from a story by R.K. Narayan. Of the 700,000 villages dotting the map of India, Kritham was probably the tiniest. The village consisted of less than 30 houses.
Muni's was the last house in the 4th Street. From a flock of 40 goats, his stock had now come down to 2.
Yenga, if you are content with the drumstick leaves matuna, I could boil and salt some for you.
Oh, இந்த இலைய சாப்பிட்டு களைத்து போயிடுச்சு. I am craving to drink from the murunga sauce. I want to chew.
பாருங்க நீங்க, you have 4 teeth in your jaw. ஆனா உங்க cravings வந்து for big things. சரிங்க. First you get me all the stuff and I will satisfy your craving. அடுத்த வருஷம் maybe you will not even be alive to ask for anything. ஆனா first day you go and get all the stuff. ஒரு ரைஸும் இல்லைன்னா மில்லட்டும் சேர்த்து அப்புறம் நான் வந்து I will prepare the sauce for you. நம்ம ஸ்டோர் வந்து காலிமா ஒண்ணுமே இல்ல. நீங்க பருப்பு தால் சில்லி அப்புறம் மாஸ்டர்டும் கொரியாண்டரும் ஜிஞ்சலி ஆயிலும் அப்புறம் ஒரு பெரிய லார்ஜ் பொட்டேட்டோ. போங்க go get all this stuff.
He walked off to the shop in the 3rd Street. Muni kept clearing his throat, coughing and sneezing until the shopman could stand it no more and demanded,
What ails you? You will fly off that seat into the gutter if you sneeze so hard, young man.
Muni laughed inordinately in order to please the shopman at being called a young man. The shopman softened and said,
You have enough of the imp inside to keep a second wife busy.
Muni laughed appropriately again at this joke. The shopman liked his sense of humor to be appreciated. Muni engaged his attention in local gossip for a few minutes, which always ended with a reference to the postman's wife, who had eloped to the city some months before.
If you could find 5 rupees and a quarter, you would pay off an ancient debt.
அடுத்த மாசம் 1ஆம் தேதி கொடுத்துறேன். என் பொண்ணு சொல்லிச்சு காசு அனுப்புறேன்ட்டு.
Have you a daughter? And she's sending you money? For what purpose, may I know?
Birthday.
Birthday? How old are you?
50 வயசு. 50 years.
More like 70. You also forget that you mentioned a birthday 5 weeks ago when you wanted castor oil for your holy bath.
Oh, that wife, that scoundrel. She would not give me anything.
You go and sell some drawn steak from the tree for what it is worth. Kelinga, you are not getting no sauce today, nor anything to eat. Now and then I can't find anything to give you. Fast evening variko, it will do you good. Ipo, take the goats and be gone. Ponga. Kelinga, don't come back till the evening. Sedingla.
Hey.
He knew if he obeyed her, she would somehow conjure up some food for him in the evening.
Unleashing the goats from the drumstick tree, Muni started out, driving them ahead and uttering weird cries from time to time in order to urge them on.
Top man said he was 70. At 70, one only waited to be summoned by God. When he was dead, what could his wife do? They had lived in each other's company since they were children. Progeny? None. Muni sat at the foot of the statue, watching his 2 goats graze. He noticed a new sort of vehicle coming down at full speed. He was wondering how to describe it to his wife later when it sputtered and stopped right in front of him.
A red-faced foreigner who had been driving it got down and went round, stooping, looking and poking under the vehicle. Then he straightened himself up, stared in Muni's direction and approached him.
Excuse me, is there a gas station nearby?
Suddenly looked up at the clay horse and cried.
Wow, marvelous. That's just marvelous.
Muni felt he should get up and run away and cursed his age. He could not readily put his limbs into action. The red-faced man wore khaki clothes, evidently a policeman or a soldier, Muni said to himself.
He will chase me and shoot me if I start running. Sometimes dogs only chase those who run. Shiva, kapatya. எனக்கு தெரியல ஏன் இந்த நம்ம பின்னாடி இருக்கறான். ஐயோ ஆண்டவா.
Meanwhile, the foreigner cried out once again.
That's just marvelous.
The foreigner paced around the statue with his eyes fixed on it.
And Muni sat frozen for a while.
Now the other man suddenly pressed his palms together in a salute, smiled and said,
Namaste. How do you do?
At which Muni spoke the only English expressions he had learned.
Yes, no.
Having exhausted his English vocabulary, he started in Tamil.
ஐயா, என் பேரு முனி. இந்த ரெண்டு ஆடு நம்மளுது.
The foreigner faithfully looked in the direction indicated by Muni's fingers.
Do you smoke?
Yes. The red-faced man took a cigarette and gave it to Muni. He flicked the lighter open and offered a light to Muni.
Muni felt so confused that he blew on the lighter and put it out.
The other, puzzled but undaunted, flourished his lighter, presented it again and lit Muni's cigarette.
Muni drew a deep puff and started puffing. His head was reeling from the effect of one of those strong American cigarettes made with roasted tobacco.
I come from New York.
Before God, Sir Bhagavan, who sees everything, sir, I tell you, sir, we know nothing, sir. If there is a murder committed, sir, whoever did it will not escape, sir. பகவான் ஆண்டவன் எல்லாம் பார்க்கறான் சார். என்ன ஒண்ணும் கேட்காதீங்க சார். எனக்கு ஒண்ணுமே தெரியாது.
A body had been found, mutilated, and thrown under a tamarind tree at the border between Kritham and Kuppam a few weeks before, giving rise to wild speculations.
Sir, என்ன வேணா ஆகும் சார். ஒண்ணுமே people know they stop for nothing. Sir, please.
I'm sure you know when this horse was made.
Sir, please go away, sir. எனக்கு ஒண்ணும் தெரியாது சார். சத்தியமா சொல்றேன் சார். I will hold him if he comes, sir. If a bad character comes, our village is always clean. எங்க கிராமம் சுத்தம் சார்.
Please. I will speak slowly. Please try and understand me. Can't you understand even a single word of English? Everyone in this country seems to speak it, but you don't. You see, last August, we probably had the hottest summer in history. And I was working in my office on the 40th floor of the Empire State Building. You must have heard about the power failure. And there I was, stuck for 3 hours, no elevator, no air conditioning, nothing. The minute I reached home in Connecticut, I told my wife, Ruth, we will visit India this winter. It's time we looked at other civilizations. The next day, the first thing she did was call the travel agent and told him to fix it, and here we are. Ruth came with me, but she's staying back in Srinagar, and I'm doing the rounds. I'll probably join her later.
Muni looked reflective at the end of this long peroration and then said rather feebly,
Yes, sir. No.
As a concession to the other's language, and went on in Tamil.
Sir, நான் இவ்வளோண்டு இருக்கச்சே சார் ஒரு அடி இருந்திருப்பேன். எங்க my uncle know I heard him say, sir.
How old are you?
The old man forgot what he had started to say and remarked,
Sometimes, sir, we lose our cattle, sir. Jackal and cheetah may carry them off, sir. But sometimes it is just theft from over the next village, sir. Our pusari, no, sir, in the temple, he can see in camphor flame, sir, the face of thief. And when he is caught,
Gestured with his hands a perfect mincing of meat. The American watched his hands intently and said,
I know what you mean. You mean chop something? Maybe you want to chop wood. Where's your axe? Give it to me and show me what to chop. I do enjoy it, you know. Just a hobby. We get a lot of driftwood along the backwater near my home. And on Sundays, I do nothing but chop wood for the fireplace. I feel really different when I watch the wood in the fireplace at night.
Sir, வீட்டுக்கு போனோம் sir.
Is there absolutely no one here? Absolutely no one to translate this for me? Isn't this statue yours? Why don't you tell me?
The old man now understood the reference to the horse. He thought for a second and said in his own language,
Sir, நான் வந்து ஒன்னும் ஒதுவாத இந்த வயசு இருக்குது சார். My grandfather, sir, he explained about horse, sir, and the warrior, sir. அவங்க தாத்தா இருக்காங்கல்ல சார், when he was this size, sir, and then அவங்க தாத்தா அவங்களோட தாத்தா.
Hey. I don't want to seem to have stopped here for nothing. I will offer you a good price for this.
He had concluded without the least doubt that Muni owned this mud horse.
Muni followed the man's eyes and pointing fingers and dimly understood the subject matter.
I wish I had my tape recorder here. Your language sounds wonderful. I get a kick out of every word you utter. But you don't have to waste your breath in sales talk. I appreciate the article, and you don't have to explain its points.
Sir, நான் ஸ்கூலுக்கு போனது இல்ல சார். அந்த காலத்துல only Brahmins went to school, sir. But we had to go to the field and work from day, morning to night, sir. Here, only learned men and officers know your Faringi language, sir. Sir, we have postman, sir, in our village who can speak your Faringi language, sir. But இதான் தெரியுமா ஆயிடுச்சு, அவன் பொஞ்சாதி ஓடி போட்டா. அதுக்கப்புறம் அவன் எப்படி வருவான் அதுக்கப்புறம் யாருக்கையும் பேசுறது இல்ல சார். Who would, if one wife did what she did, women know, sir, they must be watched, otherwise they will sell themselves and their home also.
Hey, I could give a sales talk for this, you know. This is a marvelous combination of yellow and indigo. Though faded now, how do you people prepare these colors and how do you achieve it?
Muni, now assured that the subject was still the horse, said,
Sir, இது எங்களோட காவல் தெய்வம், sir. At the end of Kali Yuga, sir, this horse will come to life, sir, and gallop and trample all bad men.
I assure you that this will have the best home in the USA. I'll push away the bookcase. Ruth may disapprove, but I will convince her. Ruth will probably say, what about when we have a party? I'm going to keep him right in the middle of the living room, stand around him and have our drink.
Sir, எங்க பண்டிதர் இருக்குல்ல, எங்க pusari, he gave discourse in temple once, sir, how the ocean is going to close over the earth and a huge wave will swallow us, sir. The horse, no, sir, will go bigger and bigger and bigger, and the wave will carry back only good people, sir, and kick out the bad people, sir. உங்களுக்கு தெரியுமா சார் எப்போ ஆபோதுன்னு?
How am I going to transport it? I can push the seat back and make room in the rear. The van can take an elephant. I am not a millionaire, but a modest businessman. My trade is coffee.
Muni caught the word coffee and said,
உங்களுக்கு காபி வேணுமா? அது you go drive further up, sir. In next town, they have Friday Coffee Hotel. There they give you coffee. That is what I learned from passerby, sir.
I repeat, I am not a millionaire. Ours is a modest business. After all, tell me, will you accept 100 rupees or not?
Sir, அங்க ராமாயணம் போடுச்ச எனக்கு சீதா வேஷம் கொடுத்தாங்க சார். Do you know story of Ramayana, sir?
I have my station wagon, as you can see. I can push the seat back and take the horse in. If you will just lend me a hand with it.
Sir, do you know Mahabharata, sir? Krishna was 8 avatars of Vishnu, sir.
I really wonder what you're saying, because your answer is crucial. We have come to a point that we should be ready to talk business. Lend me a hand and I can lift off the horse from its pedestal. We can do anything if we have a basis of understanding.
Oh, honorable one, sir. I hope God has blessed you with many progeny, sir, because you seem a good man, sir. You are willing to sit next to an old man and talk to me, sir. Sir, உங்களுக்கு எவ்வளவு பசங்க, sir?
With appropriate gestures with his hands, realizing that a question was being asked, the red man replied,
I said 100.
எவ்வளவு பசங்க சார் உங்களுக்கு? எவ்வளவு ஆண் பிள்ளைங்க, எவ்வளவு பொட்ட பசங்க? உங்களுக்கு பொண்ணு இருக்குது, அவங்க பொண்ணு கல்யாணம் ஆச்சா?
Here, this is what I mean. This is what I mean.
The old man now realized that some financial element was entering their talk. Peered closely at the currency note, like of which he had never seen in his life. What was this man flourishing this note for?
Sir, ask our village headman, sir, who is a money lender. He can change lakhs of rupees into gold sovereign also if you want, sir. Sir, he thinks nobody knows, but you dig the floor in his house and your head will reel, sir. Therefore, he's got a hoard. The man disguises himself, sir, in rags. This is all only to mislead public, sir.
The foreigner decided that it would be a sound policy to show an interest in the old man's pets. He went up casually to them and stroked their backs with every show of courteous attention.
Now the truth dawned on the old man. His dream of a lifetime was about to be realized. He understood that the red man was actually making an offer for the goats.
It's all for you.
The old man pointed at the station wagon and asked,
Sir, adale தூக்கிட்டு போறீங்க?
Yes, of course.
This will be the first ride for them, sir. Sir, you take them after I go, sir. Otherwise, they will not follow you. They will only follow me. Even if I go to Yamaloka.
He laughed at his own joke, brought his palms together in a salute, turned around and went off, and was soon out of sight.
The red man looked at the goats grazing peacefully. Perched on the pedestal of the horse, he ruminated.
He must have gone to fetch some help, I suppose.
And then he settled down to wait. When a truck came downhill, he stopped it, got the help of a couple of men to detach the horse, and for a further payment siphoned off gas from the truck and helped him to start his engine.
Muni hurried homewards with the cash securely tucked away at his waist in his dhoti. He shut the street door and stole up softly to his wife.
Rasati, பாரு எவ்வளவு காசு வந்திருக்குது நம்மளுக்கு.
கொடுங்க, give. Let me count. You put a full note, Rugava, 100 rupees. April, where did you get this? You've been stealing, பாருங்க நீங்க. If you have been thieving, the police one day will come in the night and break your bones. நான் சொல்றேன் கேளுங்க. Don't involve me. நான் வந்து I will go to my parents அவ்வளவுதான்.
ஒண்ணுமில்லம்மா, இந்த ரெண்டு ஆடு வித்தம்மா, அந்த ரெட் ஃபேஸ் மேன் absolutely he was crazy about these two, gave me all the money and carried them off in his motor car.
Hardly had these words left his lips when they heard bleating outside. She opened the door and saw the two goats at her door.
What is the meaning of all these?
He muttered a great curse and seized one of the goats by its ears and shouted,
Where is that man? Do you know you are his? Why did you come back?
The goat only wriggled in his grip. He asked the same question of the other one too. The goat shook itself off and his wife just glared at him.
All right. That was amateur theater for you, from me at least. Well, I hope you enjoyed this, everyone. I think Shaan has taken a lot of trouble in coordinating this, in getting everyone together, in trying to ensure that we get gestures right, the backdrops and all of it. She's really been patient with all of us, especially me, I must say. And thank you so much for that, Shaan. I enjoyed doing this. However small my part was, I know I still found it very tough, but it was lovely doing this. I hope you all enjoyed it again. Now, is there anything you'd like to say, Shaan? I would like you to recognize all the participants today, and from the Madras players and from Rotary, please.
Yes, I think Prabha was going to introduce
right.
the cast couple. Thank you so much to
All right.
Madras players and the RCM players. I think it was just outstanding.
May I now request Prabha for the formal vote of thanks, please?
Thank you, President. In the words of Mark Twain, the human race has one really effective weapon, and that is laughter. And our artists proved just that today, as these plays took dramatic turns with moments that did not disappoint and bringing many moments of revelation. What a lovely evening we witnessed, no bar to this marvelous display of talent that this group put up. Alas, if we were only next to each other to enjoy those laughs together. The scenes were wonderfully and seamlessly woven together and trumped any live performance between backgrounds and without doing one scene together. I expected to see at least two of the players together, but that didn't happen, and it was amazing. It's proof of how hard this team has worked and to achieve this level of perfection. So without further ado, I would like to thank everyone who's been instrumental in the success of this evening. So as I call out the names, Shaan, I would request you to spotlight every one of the players.
That's
So I'd like to start.
And done. All right, I'll try.
Okay, so I'm starting with the members of the Madras Players Group, President Gayatri, Krishna Swami, if we can.
I don't think Grace is here tonight, but I'll pass on the.
Okay. Senior members of the team, T.T. Srinath, who played Muni. Tehzeeb Katari, thank you for your narrative. P.C. Ramakrishna. Gopi Nair. Okay. Amira, thank you.
Thank you.
Radha Krishna Iyer, thank you so much for playing Lamov. It was fantastic. Rohan Natarajan, the celebrity in the park. Roshan Puncha, Paula. Saswati Mukherjee. So thank you again, who played Muni's wife.
The bomb who married the Tamilian.
Yes. And now, last but not the least, all the Rotarians, our dynamic and very versatile president, Kapil Chittale, played the very hot American. Fantastic show. Basur Mukherjee, what a transformation from the Russian to the Tamilian shopkeeper. I thought that was just fantastic. Manasa, you had us going there for a moment. It was just wonderfully done. And the shock on your face was just irreplaceable. Nilufar, you played that role perfectly. Thank you for playing Jane Doe. Shakti Girish, the sexy Natalia, the Russian hottie. So that was an absolute spellbinder of a show and a much needed distraction from the monotony of the lockdown routine that we're all keeping.
Yep.
Thanks also to the Programs Committee, Club Services Committee, and specifically the Weekly Meetings Committee. I thank all Rotarians, friends, and their extended families who made it today. And just as a drama of humor begins with laughter and ends with an applause, Secretary Prasad, can I request that we all be allowed to unmute and clap? I'd like everybody to hear the sweet sound of applause.
Yes.
Yay!
Well done, well done. Good show, guys.
Hey, Radha, Titi.
Good evening.
Radha,
Thank you.
Before that, guys,
Kapil.
Guys, 1 minute. Hold on. Before that, this meeting of the Rotary Club of Madras stands adjourned.
Okay.
Well done,
Doesn't count unless you have a
guys.
gavel, Kapil.
Superb.
So that we can